Who was Polycarp? The bishop of Smyrna, a disciple of the Apostle John, and a man who chose death by fire rather than deny Christ. His story is one of courage, faith, and a legacy that still shapes Christianity nearly 2,000 years later. Today, we uncover the dramatic martyrdom of Polycarp, the aged shepherd who showed the world what it means to remain faithful unto death. In the 2nd century, the Roman Empire was vast, powerful, and filled with gods. To be Roman was to honor Caesar's Lord and burn incense to his image. Refusing to do so was not just religious rebellion, but treason. Christians, who proclaimed Christ as Lord, stood out. They worshipped no idols, rejected emperor worship, and were seen as atheists and enemies of the state. Polycarp lived in Smyrna, a thriving city on the Aegean coast of Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey. It was a wealthy city, proud of its loyalty to Rome. For the Christians of Smyrna, loyalty to Christ often meant hostility from their neighbors. Polycarp was not just any church leader. He had been personally mentored by the Apostle John, the same John who wrote the Gospel, the letters, and the book of Revelation. Imagine learning the words of Jesus not secondhand, but directly from someone who had walked with him. Polycarp became a living bridge between the apostolic age and the generations that followed. He carried with him the pure teachings of Christ and preserved them for the church. By the mid-2nd century, persecution was intensifying. Smyrna, proud of its loyalty to Rome, began hunting Christians. The crowds demanded executions, cheering in the arenas as believers were torn apart by beasts. When persecution broke out, the voices grew louder. Bring us Polycarp, the leader of the Christians. The authorities wanted not just anonymous believers, but their shepherd, the symbol of their movement. At first, his followers urged him to flee. But one night in prayer, Polycarp saw a vision, his pillow bursting into flames. He knew what it meant. He would be burned alive for Christ. When soldiers finally arrived, Polycarp did not resist. Instead, he welcomed them as guests, offered them food and drink, and asked for an hour to pray. Witnesses said he prayed so fervently that the soldiers began to regret arresting such a gentle, godly man. Dragged into the great stadium, Polycarp faced a proconsul and a roaring crowd. The Roman official urged him to save himself. Respect your old age. Swear by Caesar. Deny Christ and you'll go free. Polycarp stood firm, and then he spoke words that have echoed through centuries. 86 years I have served him, and he has never done me wrong. How can I blaspheme my king who saved me? The crowd erupted in fury. There would be no turning back. The governor announced a sentence. Polycarp would be burned alive. The executioners prepared the stake. Normally, victims were nailed to the wood to prevent escape. But Polycarp said calmly, "Leave me as I am. He who gives me strength to endure the fire will also grant me to remain unmoved without your nails." They tied him with ropes. As the flames were lit, an eyewitness account tells us something astonishing. The fire arched around Polycarp like the sail of a ship, refusing to consume him. To the crowd, he appeared to stand in the fire like gold refined in a furnace, glowing but not destroyed. Seeing that the flames would not take him, the executioner was ordered to stab him with a spear. As the blade pierced his body, a rush of blood poured out, extinguishing the fire. Even in death, his testimony was powerful, leaving the crowd stunned. The Church of Smyrna recorded the event in a letter, one of the earliest and most reliable accounts of Christian martyrdom outside the New Testament. Polycarp's death was not defeat. It was victory. He showed that true faith cannot be broken by fear, fire, or sword. For the early church, his courage gave them strength to face their own trials. For us today, his words still echo. How can I deny the King who saved me? Polycarp's life challenges us. What is Christ worth to us? Comfort, safety, even life itself, or absolute faithfulness, no matter the cost? His story reminds us that the gospel spread not only through preaching, but through the blood of the martyrs. The seed of the church was watered by their sacrifice. If this story has inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Bible History Mysteries, where we uncover the hidden stories of the Bible and the heroes of faith who shaped Christian history. Join us as we keep unveiling the mysteries of faith.